GM. Hi, Raf.
Hi, Mikey. Hi, everybody.
Well, welcome back, everyone. We're super excited. I am here to do a very quick intro and kickoff and a slight recap on what we've been working on at CPG, really for the past year, but specifically the past 7 months. So we started with our incubator, and it has transformed magically under Raf's guided hand to our latest instantiation, which is the accelerator. And we've been taking in pre-registration for the past couple of weeks. Behind the scenes, there has been a flurry of activity, making sure everything is set and ready to go. Before we turn the full attention there, just want to give a couple of quick updates and reminders. First of all, thank you for being here. Second, if you are a pop holder or a Genesis member, please do check out our rewards.cryptopackagegoods.com. We're doing a really good push on that, and it's been wonderful to see people active and engaged. And we promise there's lots of fun things coming tied to your involvement with CPG. There also happens to be a POAP coming for this call, which ties into rewards, so please keep that up. And lastly, the accelerator itself. We've learned so much the past 7 months. And I think for Raf and team, the way that they have executed behind the scenes, shepherding folks, listening to feedback, providing true value. We have some amazing stats that we've collected. And just the feedback from everybody that's on the call has been wonderful to get us to this point. And so I just want to say thank you to Raf specifically for the leadership and really the guidance that you provided. Give definitely a nod to Caitlin, who also has helped accelerate the accelerator. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Raf. And thank you so much for being here. And thank you, Raf, for leading this charge.
Yeah, thanks, Mikey. And hi, everybody. Welcome to our first session for the pre-accelerator. Today, it's welcoming you all to this new cohort. And then we're going to go into goal setting for this year. I'm, by the way, in Ecuador today, last day here in Ecuador. If you hear strange noises from the road, that is true Ecuadorian trash delivery or trash collection or something like that. So I hope we won't be too disturbed. Right, can we have the first slide, please? So today it's really about the goal setting for this year. Today the whole call will not be so long, but then it will be all up to you to really set your goals for the year. And those of you who want to share it with us and with the community and maybe even with the broader world, like if you would like us to tweet about your goals, then you can let us know and we can help you with a little bit of exposure to get the year kicked off in just a good way. Right, next slide. Hello 2023. I hope you all had a good Christmas and you're ready and rested for this year. It's gonna be an epic one. So many builders. It's a lot of work that we're having, and yeah, very excited for it. Next slide, please. Before we go into the goal setting, I want to show you a little bit what's happening in the next week. So first of all, the amazing news is we have 72 people in this pre-accelerator program, which completely beat all of my expectations because we did not do much marketing or any marketing around this pre-accelerator program, and second, we are in the middle of a bear market. A lot of people have left Web3, and it's so cool that you are all here and building with us together. So this pre-accelerator program will run from today until the end of February, and then in March we will start the actual accelerator. So all of you who would like to participate in the actual accelerator will be able to sign up for that. And the difference is that in the accelerator, we're building up more, there will be a bit more structure and help than in this pre-accelerator. So in the actual accelerator, we will bring back mentors. We have listened to your feedback from the mentorship experience last year and change it slightly based on your feedback, but we will be able to pair you with mentors to help you. There will be a bit more content with outside experts, And there will also be funding. So similar to last year's Community's Choice program, there will be a funding and an equity-free funding at the end of the CPG Accelerator, which I think is exciting. And now this pre-Accelerator program is leading up towards that and helping those of you who are already building, already thinking about your next moves, to do so faster and to do so in an environment with peers and with support from us. So I think that's exciting. If you look, we have for this pre-Accelerator program a pitch day on February 17th. I think actually it's the 15th. I'm sorry, I think that date is wrong. I think it's actually the 15th. And we're having a couple of incredible investors that are joining for that and judges. We will have Protocol Labs, we will have the Ethereum Foundation, Gitcoin will join, and many others that you know, Outlier Ventures, for example, will join, and you will be able to pitch your ideas to them, and not just pitch, but also receive feedback. So the idea is some of you might not be raising funding yet at that point, but you will be able to pitch and receive feedback also on that day. So everything we're doing now is leading up to that day on the pitch day, and then we're rolling over in the Accelerator program. Right. And next week, maybe before we go to the actual goal planning, so the applications for the Accelerator will open next week. So if you want to participate, you can sign up from next week. And yeah, and that will be it. So, and then you will be registered and you can just continue this program in March. Righty, let's get into the next slide, please. Today we will have a POAP. And at the end of the session, I'll share the secret password with you for the POAP. And also, you know that in this pre-Accelerator program, you will receive several POAPs like the one today that will be linked to CPG Rewards. So you can accrue CPG Rewards and you will earn credit towards the CPG Certified, which is the new Accelerator, benefit we will introduce, that you will be able, like not everybody, but you will be able to apply for CPG Certified. And that's just, a vehicle of trust, something that you can put on your website that will signal trust around your product or service. And that will be part of the Accelerator program, but being part of this pre-Accelerator today helps you earn credit towards that. Right, and now let's get started. Next slide, goal setting, yay. Okay, it's the new year. I know a lot of you are eager and already building and already, deep in the trenches. I already heard of somebody in our community, cannot say who it is yet, who just got accepted into the A16Z Accelerator program this year, somebody who was oversubscribed in their funding round. Many people making big strides. And so next slide, please. We want to all slide into 2023 like this, like easy, right? With as much speed and as much growth and potential as we can. And that's why, if we go to the next slide, we want to set the goals. I like this Tony Robbins goal, so I'm going to get you a little bit into the mindset of why we want to set these goals and why it's important. And it's basically, we set goals to turn the invisible into the visible, because it is really, making that tangible where we want to go. And I know some of you don't even have an idea at this point, some of you in the ideation group, but even then it's important to have a goal. This year, I'm going to find the idea and start a company, right? Others of you already have the idea, you already have a team, you're already building something. So you will have more concrete goals around user numbers and growth and so on. But all of us need these goals to make the invisible visible. Next slide, please. And I really like this quote too, and you all feel free to share these quotes. People will go with goals to succeed because they know where they're going. And that's what we all want to be, right? We want to know where we're going to succeed, to not run around like chickens without heads. Next slide, please. I also like this: a goal without a plan is only a dream. So we don't want to be dreamers here. We don't just want to set lofty goals today, but we want to set a goal with a plan. So that means it needs to be a bit more concrete than just a goal. A goal alone is great, but we still need to have an exact plan on how we can achieve it, right? And then the next slide. And why do we need this plan? It's because it is not the goal itself that will make us successful. The goal will help us to decide or to know where we're going, but it's really our daily actions that will determine if we achieve that goal. And that's where our plan comes in, right? We need to have a plan around our daily actions so that we can achieve our goal. And then last slide, please. This is the last slide with quotes. You see already, I quite like my quotes. I hope you feel that it's a bit inspiring as well. Yeah, and then unfortunately, last one, and I actually think it's a great one. There is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs. And I think for me, that is so important because sometimes I think, oh, things should be quicker, things should be easier, but there is no easy way to starting a company. There just isn't. So all of us, will have to set our goals, have to set our plan, and then just put in the daily work, the daily effort. And no matter which stage you are, that's what we all will do together. And we will, that's also why we came here into this group together, to help each other stay accountable to that and not lose sight of our goal. Because of course, especially those of you who still have jobs, you might be moonlighting, or you're still in the very early stages of your idea and startup, you will have many different priorities that compete with your startup, with your desire to build a startup. So here we just need to be absolutely disciplined and help each other to keep that discipline. Next slide, please. Right, so now we're coming into the actual goal setting. I like these two, so there's many different ways to set goals, right? But I like these two systems the best. And one is called SMART goals, and the other system is called objectives and key results. SMART goals are specifically simple. And if you are still alone at this point, you are working alone, you're maybe not yet in a team, then SMART goals is a very simple but sharp way to set your goal. So I think especially if you're alone, the SMART goals is a great way for you to set your goals. Now, the objectives and key results on the other side is a tool that was developed by Google. There's many books around it. There's many consultants around it. So it's a huge industry, OKRs. And my last company, Career Foundry, we actually managed the whole team, the whole goal system in the company with OKRs. I'm a huge fan of it. And it specifically works well for teams. Because what OKRs do that SMART goals don't necessarily do, it allows you to aim higher. So it allows you to really set inspirational stretch goals, but also have a realistic element with a very concrete plan and actionable results attached to these inspirational goals. But it helps people to see, especially if you have a bigger team, where not everybody knows what is their specific contribution to the high company goal to make the company overall successful. It helps everybody see their contribution, but it also helps everybody dream a little bit bigger, and be a bit more daring in their ambition. And that's why I like this one. Objectives and key results you can also do if you're a single founder, a sole founder, but it specifically works well in teams and bigger teams. So, and we come to examples of both now in a second. By the way, now I'm also have the chat open. If you have any questions about anything I'm saying, then you can just put your question in the CPG Accelerator chat. And even if you're watching it later, and you're not watching it live right now, just post your questions in the CPG Accelerator bigger group. Because if you have a question, if you don't understand something, I'm sure there's other people who would also not understand it and who would also be grateful to see your question. So, but I see now in the chat, no one has asked any questions yet. So that's good. Let's move on to the next slide and to going a bit deeper into our actual goal setting. So for those of you who want to choose the SMART goals, And by the way, at the end of this, I would like all of you to think about your goals for the year. So bear with me. I'm going to go through these two systems quickly, and then you can start setting your goals. The SMART goals stand for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And that's why I love the SMART goals, because you want to be really specific, you want to be measurable. So you really want to think, okay, how can I measure my goal and my progress? And you want it to be time-bound. So, not give yourself forever to achieve your goal, which I think is important. Put some pressure on ourselves, and make them achievable as well, and relevant. And we will share these slides afterwards in the chat, so you can read all of the small print to help you maybe think about this in more depth as you set your own goal. But here are, for example, if you go to the next slide, please. We'll have some, the examples come in 1 second. First, let's go through I'll share some examples in a second. Let's go through the objectives and key results. Objectives is what you want to accomplish, and a good objectives is significant, concrete, action-oriented, and inspirational. So whereas in a SMART goal, for example, actually we come to the examples in a second, but here basically the difference to the SMART goals is it can be inspirational. So it doesn't necessarily have to be, or the objective itself can be bigger than a certain time-bound event, or it can be more daring, more inspirational than what a SMART goal would be. Yeah. And the key results are though the thing that brings you back to the earth, away from the inspiration, and to think through how can I actually achieve it. Key results are normally number-based. They're normally time-bound again, where we say, okay, in this specific time, I want to achieve a certain number, metric. For example, say you are still in an ideation phase. Your number could be, I just want to spend half an hour or an hour each day thinking about ideas, right? But it has to be a number in your key results. Righty. Now, next slide. Here, now we come to the examples, and I contrasted the two methods with each other. So you will see a SMART goal could be, for example, I will start a side business selling flowers. The measurable part of that could be, I will spend at least 2 hours a day planning and marketing my business. The achievable part would be like, well, I used to sell vegetables for my garden, so now I'll use my expertise to switch to flowers. So it's achievable because you don't need to learn a completely new skill. You already have the skill. Is it relevant? I love growing flowers and sharing them with other people, and it would earn me extra money. So it's relevant to you, to your situation, to what you want to achieve. And time-bound, I'll start working on my marketing plans and growing my flowers to be ready for sale by July 1st. So time-bound should always have a concrete date. Now, you don't have to write all of this out for your SMART goal. It's, for example, enough, I think, to have the specific, measurable, and time-bound elements out in your goal. But in your own head, you should check with yourself, is it achievable? Is it relevant for what you want to achieve? There's also another SMART goal example. For example, the specific part of the goal would be, I will learn new sales techniques to increase sales at work. So if your goal is to increase sales, then the specific goal is to learn new sales techniques and increase the sales. Measurable, the measurable goal would be to double sales in 4 months. So there's also already a time-bound element. Is it achievable? This person has been a sales associate and has the experience. Is it relevant? Here it's, for example, I want to feel more confident at my job and learn new skills. And time-bound, tomorrow I'll be doing a LinkedIn training course on sales tactics and implement them on Monday at work. I have 4 months to see results and to test all of these things out. So I think SMART goals are a very easy way. And as I said, you don't have to share all of these things, but you should definitely share write down with yourself or for the community the specific part, the measurable part, and the time-bound part. That's the most important. Right, let's go to the next slide. Now we come to OKR examples. And here you see they're slightly different. So the O, the objective, for example, is achieve fiscal sustainability. So that is a big goal, right? Achieve fiscal sustainability. And that's what makes it inspirational, because you have this one big goal. There's many, many ways how you could get at it, right? You could actually make this even more inspirational depending on what the goal is, right? It could be start $100 million business, or it could be, raise an exceptional amount of venture capital, or it could be, it could be anything that's inspirational. And then the key results, this is where you make it measurable, is, for example, the first one could be reduce the general fund budget variance from 11 to 5%, spend 95% of the authorized capital by the end of the year, and spend 95% of grant dollars from the prior fiscal years. Another OKR example is on the right. Create the lowest carbon footprint in our industry. So that is also incredibly inspirational, to be the lowest carbon footprint in your industry. And here a key result could be bring the whole supply chain and shipping infrastructure to 100% zero waste. Then the next one, had 100% of the carbon offsets for calculated carbon dioxide emissions. Then the key result number 3, make 25% of the materials compostable. And key result number 4, make sure that 75% of the materials you're using are biodegradable. So these are just examples, but just so you realize, so it's easier to understand. Right, I will post the slides in the channel in a second, but if we go to the next slide. Now, I want you to think about these goals and really write them down for yourself, but also, there has to be flexibility. If the plan doesn't work, change the plan, not the goal. So you can always keep your goal, but change how you get there. So especially these key results, they can never be fixed for too long a period, because you might find, okay, the system you're using isn't working, so you have to try something else. So be a bit like, it's okay to be flexible in your key results or in your basically measurable aspects of the goal. But it's still good to have a goal and to have a plan to try for a few weeks. Right, and now, next slide. Now it is your turn already. You can now, oh, sorry, slide 18. Yeah, thank you. So basically, you should set your goal now, and ideally share that goal with the community. So if you haven't seen it yet, we have actually created 3 mastermind groups depending on your stage. So there's one group that is for the ideation, one group is for building, and one group is for launch. So share the goal in your group. That is just for added accountability, putting it out there in the world helps you stay accountable, helps others realize what you're building. And at the end of it, you can, for example, say you're happy for us to share that publicly, or you want to keep it in the community. And everybody who wants it to be shared publicly, we're going to make a big Twitter thread and LinkedIn thread and tag you and help you get that little bit of exposure. But it's up to you. You don't have to put it public. So just make a note if it's for community only. And then you can decide if you want to make a SMART goal or an OKR. And we have here in the gray bit at the side, we have created a template that you can use either for SMART goals or for OKRs. Please use that template. That makes it easier for us then to share all of the goals later on Twitter if it's already in a similar format. And I'm gonna share this format in a second. Right, next slide. And that's already it. I promised it would be a short session because I want to give you time to think about your goals. So now I'm gonna leave you with that. I'm going to now in the CPG Accelerator post the slides, and I will post the template. Please use the template and send it to us, by today or tomorrow. And then tomorrow we will create, but I think Thursday we will basically, if you finish it by tomorrow evening, end of day tomorrow, then on Thursday we will share all of the goals for those that want publicly, for those that don't want. We leave it in the community, but put it there so that we can see what you're working on. The other people in your group can see what you're working on, and we can all hold each other accountable to that. Cool. Then the last slide, the thing you might have all been waiting for is the POAP. You can claim your POAP now. The secret word is lift off 23. That's you can see it here in the right-hand corner. So that's lift off 23. Cool. And then last slide. Thank you very much for joining in. I'm super excited to see your goals. I think this will be a fantastic 2 months building together. We can really start the year accountable, pushing each other, helping each other make the best of our time, maybe think of things a bit more constructively, help each other. And I'm very much looking forward to that. The next session will be in 2 weeks on January. No, hold on, it's already next week then, where we have a check-in and feedback session. So that will basically mean next week you will share a little bit about the progress in your first week. We will do that every 2 weeks, where in your group you check in with each other, share a bit your progress, share what you struggle with, see what others are doing. Maybe they have better approaches, maybe they have better ideas how to tackle a certain issue. And that will be happening next week. And then on Jan 31st, in 2 weeks, we will hold the first office hours, where we will be really focusing on the pitches, on the pitch decks in preparation for the pitch day. Righty, then I wish you the best with the goal setting. Very excited to see them again. Oh, and we have some questions, I think. Sorry, I didn't see them now. Let me quickly see those questions. Okay. When does the registration window close for the CPG Accelerator? That is a good question. We will let you know next week, okay? We haven't, I don't know it right now, but when we announce the Accelerator applications, we will let you know when they close. And then the next question is, for the exercise, for the goals. So now this is important. For the goals exercise, do you recommend having goals for a quarter or month or the next 6 weeks? That is a good one. So what is a good time frame for your goals? Personally, I personally have broken down my goals into what do I want to achieve this year. And I, by the way, only have 2 goals for the whole year, because what I did personally, I concentrated on 2 things that don't come natural to me. Like some things, for example, for me, fitness, for example, is important to me to be healthy, but that comes natural. I anyways, try to exercise, because otherwise I don't feel good. So fitness, for example, is not one of my 2 goals because it comes naturally. My 2 goals are something that are not natural, that are hard, but that I absolutely want to happen this year. So these are my 2 goals. I have them for the year, what needs to happen, but I also have them broken down for the quarter. So that's how I do it. But it might, another structure might make more sense for you. So you could also say, okay, I think my screen just froze, sorry. But I hope you got it. So do it definitely, at the minimum, I would say do it for the 2 months. For the pre-accelerator time, that really focuses you on making the best of your time. But you could also have a yearly goal and a quarterly goal for the first quarter. So depending on what you feel is right for you. Then somebody's asking, is there a way for us to connect with CPG and the team on LinkedIn? Yes, we're all on LinkedIn, and I think it's easy to find us there. And there's also the CPG LinkedIn page where we would all be following. So yeah, please add me on LinkedIn. I actually probably told you that LinkedIn is my favorite social media. So I would definitely love to be connected there. And I think Chad has just posted our LinkedIn link at the bottom, which is linkedin.com/company/club CPG. Then a few people complain about the new POAP minting process, which seems to be very bad. I'm very sorry. We actually just realized before we started the call, because Mikey realized it too. So next time, hopefully they improve it. We'll let them know. Righty, I think that was all the questions. Now it's time to set these goals. I post the slides now, and yeah, I'm excited to hear from all of your goals. Have a good day. Bye.